No.
In the morning to run.
It's just an expression. Nikola Jokic scored 41 points against Minnesota, and Denver seized control of the 1 seed out west. Are the champs clearly the team to beat in that conference?
Absolutely, they are, and they are looking like they're ready to repeat as champs. And you know what else, too? Nikola Jokic said, you have voter fatigue? Well, guess what? You're going to have to vote for me as MVP. 41 points. He lets Ant-Man know this is the level you got to get to if you want to be an MVP.
Staying out west, Phoenix outscored the Clippers 19-2 in the final 7 minutes. They're a half game behind New Orleans for the 6th seed. Can the Suns make a playoff run with their big three?
No, Dan, not at all. And the Clippers are the most maddening team possible because they're a team that should be playing a lot better than this down the stretch. Because if anybody can take on Denver, on paper, it should be the Clippers. But they have not played well down the stretch.
The Milwaukee Bucks beat Orlando without Giannis, who will be out for the rest of the regular season, which is to say 2 games. What is your level of confidence in Milwaukee as the playoffs approach?
It's getting a lot lower. It was low already before the injury. After the injury, it's a major concern because you don't know what condition he's going to be in when the playoffs begin. This was a big win for them, though, to hold off Orlando to keep them from catching them in the 2 spot. The Bucks seem to be locking themselves in at least to the 2 seed.
Locking themselves in, sure, but if they don't have Giannis,
doesn't matter.
right? I mean, that's the whole question
Yes.
right now with Milwaukee. Are they going to be whole? Is he going to be healthy enough? If he's not, then who does that open opportunity for in the East?
First of all, it's the Boston Invitational, right? We all know the Boston Celtics are the best team in the East, and everybody's fighting to play them and probably lose to them in the conference finals. So who would that team be now that the Bucks have injury issues? They already weren't playing well to begin with. It opens the doors for a team like the New York Knicks, who are also missing a key piece in Julius Randle. But they have been on a run to finish this season. Jalen Brunson is playing at an MVP level. Their defense has been stellar. They are a team, to me, that you have to watch when it comes to the playoffs because matchups could dictate a lot of things. So the Knicks are certainly one team to keep an eye on that could open the door with certain matchups. But another team you have to think about in the East is one that just got healthy, and that's the Philadelphia 76ers with Joel Embiid. 6-game winning streak. Embiid has been playing great since he returned from the injury, and Tyrese Maxey is playing at a high level with Embiid on the floor. So if you're talking about teams where the door has opened, it is open for both of those teams. It's going to depend on matchups and who avoids Boston in the second round with the ability to play well enough to get to the conference finals.
Nobody's got a chance against Boston. Like, does Philly have any chance to beat Boston?
No. The only team that can beat the Boston Celtics in the playoffs, in the Eastern Conference playoffs, are the Boston Celtics, because we've seen them do this before.
Have seen that before.
We have. And
yes.
We also know, coaching-wise, there's going to be a lot of questions about Joe Mazzulla, because there were last year. And if you look at some of the matchups coaching-wise in the East, he's not the coach you would pick. If you could pick, okay, who do I want, Tom Thibodeau or Joe Mazzulla? You want Tom Thibodeau. I mean, Nick Nurse or Joe Mazzulla? You want Nick Nurse. You go through the East, you're always going to find the coach. Eric Spoelstra is another great example, Rick Carlisle. So those are the things that you wonder about with the Celtics, but they play with their food. That's the only thing that could stop Boston themselves.
We'll see if maybe this is the year they get over that hump. How about a little eye candy? You want to check out this poster dunk from the Hornets' Brandon Miller?
I mean, your sport coat is eye candy for me.
That's
but
exactly
okay,
right.
But
that's all right. Let's watch this instead. This is a poster dunk. I think more people are interested in this than my sport coat. What do you think?
Well, Brandon Miller, by the way, he's been fantastic late in the season, but when you see something like that, when you rise up and finish over the top of a big man, for the rookie, that's for a season that has been frustrating in Charlotte for him, he could feel good about this poster. Put that on your bedroom and keep that up for the whole summer.
Yeah, our football folks are back now. D. Wood, what did you think of this dunk? Yeah, same.
Damn!
That's it.
I mean, man, you didn't have to do that to that man and his family like that. Come on.
I give the guy credit for at least coming over and making an effort.
I got to be honest with you. I don't know if his family cares about him anymore if they're getting dunked on like that.
Jeez.
Wow. A wake-up call from the reigning NBA champion Denver Nuggets. Let's go.
Front court over to Christian. He's got Watson with him. Dunk that thing home! Right on Rudy Gobert! Oh, Rudy! Where you at, bro? Christian Braun just dumped that thing on your melon.
The Nuggets are now in the driver's seat for the top seed in the Western Conference with 2 games to go. Thunder and the T-Wolves right behind them. And you see the Lakers and the Warriors are now locked into the play-in, but we still don't know which seed each one is going to be. So, Alan Hahn, without knowing that, which team of the Lakers, the Warriors, do you give a better chance at making some noise in those Western Conference playoffs?
Before I get to that, can I tell you how special that lefty dunk was for Christian Braun?
Please.
Like how special that is to go up and left, just to go like this and then left on you like that. Like,
yes, I asked for that.
Like that kind of a finish is not easy to do on the break like that, especially against a defensive player of the year. So that was special.
I'll tell you
Look
what.
at this right here. Look at. Are you serious? Like that lefty, man. Lefty.
Yeah.
Look at this. Challenging the big man. Come on now. That's special. That's why the Nuggets, they move on from like Bruce Brown and other players like that. This guy's coming off your bench and he's dunking on Defensive Player of the Year centers. Yeah, Denver Nuggets are that team in the West that you look and you say, put your money on them to repeat.
Yeah.
Put your money on them to repeat. So whatever you're going to ask me about the Lakers and Warriors, irrelevant because they're not going to beat them.
Well, what do you want to talk about?
They're not going to beat them. But I'll tell you who has the better chance to make a run.
That's what I asked.
Okay, well.
And then you start coming over here and shoving me around.
Because I get hype about
I'm a little lost. I'm a little
listen,
thrown off.
I wasn't a very good player. I didn't have a lot of good skill, but I could dunk the basketball.
Yeah,
I still can
great.
at 52, by the way.
Wow.
So when I see dunks like that, I get hyped. So let's talk about, though, the Warriors and why they are not the team that I'm going to pick here. 1-10 against the top 3 teams in the West. So they struggle against teams with size, which Denver has, which Minnesota has, and the Oklahoma City Thunder score a lot in the paint, get in the paint. So for the Warriors, even though they're playing really well down the stretch, I just don't see them being that team. So the Lakers will be, because if they get the right kind of matchups, they have to avoid Denver. They haven't beaten Denver, by the way, in 8 straight games. Going back to last season's regular season, remember they had the gentleman's sweep, although it wasn't in 5. It was gentleman's because they didn't get blown out in any of the games. They were close. But still, they got swept in the conference finals. They also lost to them in the regular season as well, and this year they haven't beaten them either. So I'm looking at the Lakers and saying they have a better chance to make the run if they get the right matchups. If they get the Clippers in the second round, if they get Oklahoma City in the first round, a young team with a guy like LeBron, you might want to favor the Lakers.
Right. Otherwise, you're going to be getting dunked on by Christian Brown.
Yes.
As for the Warriors, like, is this it for the Warriors? Like, is this it for this group? The last dance, as it were, to borrow a phrase?
Yes, right. We haven't heard that before. It feels like it, and it feels like it not to be disrespectful for everything they've done, but how many times have we seen dynastic teams have a third run? They just won. They had a second run there. They got a championship, one more title out of the core group by adding other pieces around it. The Spurs, they got one more title when Kawhi came around. One more. They could have had 2, but they only got 1. So, and then the Bulls had 2. They never got a third one. It's very rare to see dynastic teams get a third shot at it. So I just don't see the Warriors. So it does feel like the end, but it doesn't mean they won't be a tough out. It doesn't mean they won't be a competitive team going forward. And with Steph Curry at 36 next season, do the Warriors decide, can we build one more around him? If you do, some emotional decisions to make about the guys around him.
Yeah, we'll see if it is the end for this group.